My name is Monique Lukens. This happened in Malibu, California. I'm a victim of judicial and law enforcement corruption, specifically the Lost Hills Malibu Sheriff Department. And this is my testimony. So a little after midnight, I was driving home on a dark, deserted stretch of the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu, when a patrol car began driving to my left, as if whomever was in there was peering in at me. So I became suspicious, since I was following the rules of the road. The patrol car then pulled in back of me and placed its lights on. Now I yielded in speed, even though I wasn't going too fast. I dropped in my speed, and I placed my hazard lights on. And I searched for the nearest well-lit open store to stop for my safety as a single female. I was alone in the car. I told the officer who came to my window that I was looking for a well-lit area, and I asked if we could go to a more well-lit area because the store that I had stopped at was closed. He proceeded to tell me if I moved, he would place me on the ground and restrain me. 50 minutes later, he said he was giving me a correctable ticket for a headlight that was out. Instead, in addition to the headlight ticket, it was a $500 failure to yield to his emergency vehicle ticket with a point attached to my license. I brought up the issue to Malibu City Council. I was referred to the Malibu City Council's liaison, Lieutenant Tracy DeMello. She was to assist me. Lieutenant DeMello said on record that 99% of all sheriff deputies carry tape recorders on them, and the tape would be pulled, and to see if any misconduct. Now, she initially spoke to me very nicely, and then very soon turned against me in email stating I committed several infractions, even though I hadn't entered any plea at that point. Also, I was told there was no tape of our dialogue, me and the sheriff, which I find very suspicious if in fact 99% of all sheriff deputies carry tape recorders on them. And I'd like to note that the deceased Mitrice Richardson, who was on the cover of People magazine and National Story, we still don't know whatever happened to her. She was let out of that same sheriff department, the Lost Hills Malibu Sheriff Department, 4 months after my incident. Mitrice's mother was told there was no tape of her daughter in the Lost Hills Malibu Sheriff Jail. Yet, a tape was found in the desk of the captain who made that statement. He has since been promoted and transferred. The same station moved Mitrice's remains when they were found without the coroner's permission. This is a federal offense. Yet, the entire time I spoke at the Malibu City Council for handling people with safety, most of the board alluded to their sheriff department being stellar. In trial, the pro temp judge, her name is Bonnie Jo Termack, she mocked me, asking if I had a doctor's note, stating that I was afraid of the police. And she wouldn't allow me to present factual evidence of all the rapes which occur at dark, deserted traffic stops by real and fake law enforcers. My case went all the way to the oral argument in appeals court, which is almost unheard of for traffic court in Los Angeles. And still, even though it went to appeals, politics came into play. The appeals court, headed by one of the judges in the O.J. Simpson case, believe it or not, she accepted as accurate the record of the oral trial proceedings as certified by the trial court. They would not take into consideration the verbatim testimonial taken from the court recording. I had a tape of everything that was said. Although it was a quality and assurance recording and not taken by a court reporter, it was word for word. Also, on the Los Angeles Sheriff Department website, it says if you feel you're being followed, go to a well-lit populated area. Also, the FBI states that there are color of law crimes, which include sexual assault by officers. Lastly, in the California DMV, it says to do exactly what I did if being pulled over on a dark highway. Yet the appeals court denied all of this. So why are we paying tax money to these frauds? They don't have the best interest for us in hand. Some of them do. I won't say all of them. But in this case, it was a debacle. I got charged with the with the $500. Well, it went a little lower. It was $300 something. And I have a point on my license. I didn't have any points on my license. So that is the story. And I do want to add one thing. In the California State Constitution, Article 1, it says that we have a safety right, us residents, a safety right. And I made a point of that in the appeals court. But they said I didn't develop it enough. Well, when someone brings 40 articles of sexual assault at traffic stops, I think that's developing it enough. Thank you.